Good afternoon and welcome to Feed Yourself Well. We're back with another recipe, and this is absolutely one of my favorites. It is Shrimp Creole. The weather's starting to change. We're moving into comfort food season, and this Shrimp Creole is going to hit the spot. Instead of doing it with traditional white rice, I'm going to do it over some roasted spaghetti squash. Now, the ingredients for this Shrimp Creole is really simple. It's a little bit of green bell pepper, a little bit of celery, and a little bit of shallot. I've got about 2 tablespoons of each one of those that have been diced up in this bowl. I've got some sliced green onions and some parsley, but these guys aren't going to go in until the absolute very end of the dish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cook the shrimp a little bit first, then I'm going to add the sauce to it. Now the sauce that I'm using is a tomato-based sauce called sofrito. And the way I prepared this, I'm going to put this in the actual description on today's post so you guys can see how to do it step by step. It's a tomato reduction with olive oil, onions, garlic, bell pepper, celery's in there. It's used as a cooking base. So you take it, you chop everything up, put it into you can put it in a crock pot, or I did it in a pressure cooker so it would cook really fast, and I wanted all those vegetables to really break down. I added a couple bay leaves to it also for some flavor. So it's just a nice, rich base sauce. We could go into a whole history lesson about sofrito and how so many cultures use aromatics as the building blocks of the dish. So if it's French, it's mirepoix. The Portuguese have their version. The Spanish have their version. Everybody, Asian cooking is always onions, ginger, garlic, always first, right? So this is one of those base ingredients that we're going to turn into make it a part of the sauce for the dish. So we're going to get back, start cooking. I've got 2 pounds of shrimp that have been peeled and deveined. These are 13-15 shrimp, so you get about 13-15 shrimp per pound. So let's go cook. So we're going to do today's dish in a cast iron skillet, and I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil in the base just to get it started. I want that to warm up nicely. I'm going to saute these aromatics just for a minute. This is Trinity going in. We got an onion, which is a shallot, a little celery, and a little bell pepper. That's going to be the first building block to the dish. I don't want this to necessarily brown. I don't want to get a lot of caramelization on it. I just want to wake it up and get it nice and bright and starting to release its flavor. I don't want this to cook down. I want some texture. The aromatics that I added to the sofrito are nice and soft and have melted in and become part of the sauce. This is going to add a textural layer to our shrimp creole. Okay, nice. Looking good. Now to this I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of my house seasoning blend. This is a Creole seasoning blend that I modified. I added a few other things to it. A little pinch of lemon pepper, a little pinch of pepper spices are in there. So I changed it a little bit, but the base is Creole seasoning. And I want to toast those spices a little bit. I want to wake them up because they're going to be a major player in the dishes we go through. Okay, so I've made some space. I'm going to put the shrimp right in. I'm just going to kind of lay them in first. So I want them to get a little bit of a sear on them. And then I can just keep cooking without overcrowding the pan. I'll do it in probably 2 batches. So we'll get this first batch going, and then we'll go in with the second batch of shrimp. So we've got our first batch working. We're going to leave them in the pan, and I'm just going to add a few more shrimp. And I'm going to let these guys keep cooking. and then we're going to add the sauce to it. Again, this is about 2 pounds of peeled and deveined clean shrimp that we're just sauteing to wake everything up. Uh-oh, runaway shrimp, come on back. Those veggies are doing nice, push to the side. I just want to keep those out the way. They're on the cooler side of the pan, so they're just holding warm. They're not doing a whole lot of cooking. And I got just a few more shrimp I'm going to squeeze in here. And then we're going to put the sauce on and bring it to a simmer. While this is simmering away, we'll go ahead and prep up our already roasted spaghetti squash and get it ready for plating. Looking great. All right, so our shrimp are in the pan, all of our aromatics. I'm just adding a pinch more seasoning to it. And I'm going to go right in with our prepared tomato sofrito. This is about 32 ounces of sofrito. And you just want to stir everything together. And we're going to reduce the flame down to very low and just let it simmer. All right, that smells really good. I can smell all those flavors coming together, and fire to low. All right, now we're gonna go back and work on the spaghetti squash. We roasted it and we did a whole video on it before, so you can check back on that video to see how to do it. We're just gonna take it and get it ready for plating while the shrimp Creole simmers together. All right, so spaghetti squash is roasted, still steaming, just with a fork. All you gotta do is just release it from the shell. And I just like to roll it right down into a bowl so it'll be easy to build our plate with. That looks great. One spaghetti squash feeds about probably 2 people, 3 people really well. So I would say for the amount of food we have today, it's definitely a great meal for about 4 people. All right, so I'm just gonna clean this out some more, and then we'll jump back over to our shrimp Creole and finish it up. So we've slowed things down to a simmer. The shrimp have cooked completely. Only takes about 5-10 minutes for the shrimp to finish cooking, especially since I pre-cooked them by just giving them a quick saute. So to this, I'm gonna do a very French technique. It's called monter au beurre. Is when you add butter at the very end, you cut the fire completely off, and you just fold in the butter just to enrich in the dish. So I just want the butter to melt. It's gonna give it a nice sheen, add some flavor and dimension to it. This is a great way to spruce up a sauce just with a little bit of butter. Didn't take a whole lot. This is definitely, I would call this a keto-friendly meal. Traditionally, you would do this over a big old bowl of rice, but we're gonna sub it out for the spaghetti squash. All right, so that butter's still melting down nicely. To finish, I'm gonna do about a 1/4 cup of parsley and a 1/4 cup of just green onions. Simple, sliced green onions, that's it. And I'm just gonna fold that in and let all that become part of my dish. Okay, so shrimp Creole, we're done. This is a finish line. It's already nice and ready to go. The spaghetti squash is waiting on me. So let's head back and build our plate. Okay, so spaghetti squash, got a bowl. Let's go right in with that nice cooked spaghetti squash. A nice pile right in the middle of the bowl. And then we're just gonna spoon over our shrimp Creole. Oh man, that looks great. Lots of shrimp, lots of flavor. Let's add a little more sauce over the top of that. and it's Sunday, and this is dinner. So remember, feed yourself well. Check the description of this video. I'm gonna put the sofrito content there for you, so you just gotta go to the description and it'll be there for you. So enjoy this tonight. Remember, subscribe, turn on your notifications, follow on Instagram. Instagram is feed.yourself.well. Have a good week.